me take another sip of the happy juice using my Dad Play Studio merchandise cup.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello everyone, JCarmine960 here, doing a final review for all of the cards. Blizzard has now revealed all 135. I'm going to try to skip through cards I've already reviewed, go towards ones that are brand new. So let's start going through here. Wandmaker is a 2-mana 2/2 neutral, so not the greatest stats, but add a 1-cost spell from your class to your hand. So if you think of the Cobalt spell skin, a 5-mana dragon that gives 2 1-cost spells, this one is less than half the cost and gives 1. Not bad. I could see this getting play in like a mage, just like sling a bunch of spells deck. Definitely. About Voracious Reader, very strong card. 2-mana 1/3. At the end of your turn, draw cards until you have 3 cards. So it's a neutral. Everybody can play it. Any zoo type of deck that wants to slam minions every single turn and clear out their hand, definitely going to want to have this. Even if it draws you 3, 2-mana 1/3, draw 3 is very good. So expect to see this in Aggro Hunter, Aggro Demon Hunter, or the new Zoo Lock that's kind of getting pieced together. Vectis, Battlecry, summon 2/1/1 whelps. Each gains a death rattle from your minions that died this game. So you could either play a bunch of minions that have death rattle and make them all the same style so that you're kind of guaranteeing that you're going to get this or that, or you can tutor out specific death rattles like that new Plague Whelp or the Plague Dragon that's the 8/8 summon a random 7-cost minion. You make sure that that dies, and then you play Vectis so that they get that same summon a 7-cost. Or maybe you're playing a Control Warrior and you only have Rattle Gore. So you hopefully get Rattle Gore that dies and comes back, so on and so forth. So hopefully you get that chain to happen again. So we'll see what happens. This card definitely is a very powerful effect. Death Rattles, you don't care about their initial stats. You want that Death Rattle. So 1/1 whelps with the Death Rattle is pretty cool. It's also nice, too, that it's not like the Syndragosa 0/1s where they're just on the board. These are 1/1, so these can attack the following turn if your opponent doesn't deal with them. So you can trade them off, which is really nice. Expect to see Vectis getting played quite a bit. Trick Totem. This thing's pretty cool. It's a dual class Mage Shaman. It is at the end of your turn, cast a random spell that costs 3 or less. I like it because for 2-mana totem, it is 3 health, which is really cool. It's not a typical 2 health, so you can't just backstab it away. You do have to trade a dagger or something like that into it. But a random spell that costs 3 or less, there's a lot of really good valuable ones out there. I've seen a couple highlights that have like, you drop this and, oh yeah, I got Frost Nova, or, you got a perfect draw, or arcane missiles, whatever. So this thing's pretty cool. It's a neat little cheeky way to try to add some RNG flair to your game. So expect to see this quite a bit. Tour Guide. This is pretty neat. 1-mana, 1/1. Your next hero power cost 0. So this reminds me of the Water Boy from either the last one or the one before. But yeah, anything that can make your hero power cost 0 is cool. What's nice about this one is the Water Boy was 2 mana to make your hero power cost 0. This is 1 mana, so you can play this on 1, and anybody with a 2-mana hero power can still hero power. So very neat. Stats are meh, but it's pretty cool in like a token style deck. You can just slam this down and give yourself a free hero power. Steward of Scrolls is a neutral 5-mana 4/4. It is of the elemental type, so has a little elemental synergy for mage and for shaman. But it's spell damage +1, which is good. It's a lot like Azure Spelldrake, and Battlecry Discover a Spell. So I think this is a better version of the Azure Drake because of the same stats and the spell damage and the cost. Instead of drawing a random card out of your deck, thinning out your deck, you're generating the value, and it's a spell. And it says discover a spell, so obviously it's from your class, but it's not a specific cost, so it could be any spell. This is good. You're going to see this card quite a bit. Generating value looks like in this, especially in this expansion with how much RNG and a bunch of other things that are going on in this expansion, looks like it's going to be pretty valuable. So any spell damage or even spell heavy deck, you're going to see this guy get slotted in because 5 mana 4/4 is not the greatest, but spell damage is important. as well as the Battlecry Discover a Spell. Ooh, scry. So SOS here, Sphere of Sapience. It's the neutral legendary weapon. It is at the start of your turn, look at your top card. You can put it on the bottom and lose 1 durability. So a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you just shuffle through your deck so fast. No, that's not how this works. This is basically, is my top deck okay? If it is, I'll take it. If not, you have to judge it based off of, do I want this card or do I not want to see it until the very end of the game? Because the card that you don't pick goes to the bottom, and that's important. It doesn't get shuffled back into your deck. It goes to the bottom of your deck. So you might want that card in 2 or 3 turns, and you might not need the perfect draw this turn. Take it, because if you shuffle it to the bottom, you're never going to see it until the end of the game, or unless you got duplicate copies. So slower decks that don't mind drawing, you could literally equip this weapon on turn 1 and never use its passive ability, and never use its ability, and never burn any durability off this card in a pre-style deck. That's just like a slow controlling style deck, or even the new control Demon Hunter deck, where obviously you don't want to use this in Demon Hunter, but I'm just using it as an example. How about like Control Warlock, where you're just drawing cards and you're just kind of playing the board, removal until you build your, okay, this is how I'm going to kill you. This card is good. It's very good. I don't think you're going to see weapon removal tech everywhere, but you will see this card played in a decent amount of decks until the meta settles. Once the meta settles, you're probably not going to see a lot of this, except for maybe 1 or 2 decks. My guess is Control Priest is probably going to use this, and then I wouldn't say Control Warrior, because they still want to put a weapon or 2 in, so you're probably not going to see it in that one, but you might see it in like a slower Warlock deck. Speaker Ghidra. This is a dual class Druid Shaman. 3 mana, 1/4, Rush, Wind Fury, Spell Burst, gain attack and health equal to the spell's cost. This seems insane, by the way. This absolutely seems nutty. If you find a way to get this to stick going into the next turn, even if it's on a 6 mana spell, anything is going to just buff this thing to the moon. And the first spell I think of is the new 10 mana Druid spell. Give all the minions in your deck, in your hand, and on the battlefield +4/+4. So that's going to give this +4/+4, and then it gives it +10/+10. So you're adding +14/+14. This is that 15 attack with Rush and Wind Fury. Even 15 attack, Wind Fury on the following turn, you're just looking at an insane amount of damage. So, yeah, this is a really good card. Look for people to build decks around it. I don't think it's going to be in every single deck, because that Spell Burst, gaining the attack and health equal to the spell's cost, is pretty specific, but I do believe you're going to see this card being a major component in a deck that can be successful, specifically built around this card. I don't know if you're going to see like OTK 1-turn combo style, or, I have to set up this to win, but yeah, this is powerful. This is very powerful. Sorceress Substitute. This is a neutral 6 mana, 6/6, so pretty good stats already. Battlecry. If you have spell damage, summon a copy of this. So there is a ton of cheap spell damage out there. Any deck that's going to be running spell damage. There's even some, I think Shaman has a card now that specifically searches for a spell damage minion, and the next one you play costs 1 less. So this is definitely a card. Anything that runs spell damage. 6 mana is not terribly slow, but 6 mana 12/12 is very powerful. So expect to see this played in like Mage or even Shaman that's running spell damage, because this is very strong. Sneaky Delinquent. This is a neutral Death Rattle 2 mana 3/1. Add a 3/1 ghost with stealth to your hand. So pretty nice little value card. 2 mana 3/1 with stealth is not terrible. You can trade it just to get another 3/1 ghost, and I believe the ghost that you get is 2 mana as well. Yep, so it is a 2 mana ghost. So 4 mana 6/2, not terrible. Smug Senior, he's very smug. This is a neutral 6 mana 5/7 taunt Death Rattle. Add a 5/7 ghost with taunt to your hand. So same style. as the other one, the Sneaky Delinquent. Just decent value. 6 mana, 5/7 is not terrible stat line, especially with taunt. You want higher health and attack. But yeah, this just kind of gives you that value. Any like taunt warrior, anything controls just like, okay, I want a minion to stop damage this turn, and I want a minion to stop damage next turn. This gives that to you. So take 7 damage, and then you can slam down another one next turn. Pretty cool. You might see it in some control style decks, or at least if you get it off of a Discover, you're not going to be too upset. Robes of Protection. This is a neutral 3 mana 2/4. So 3 mana 2/4 has been a very prominent stat line in the past, especially when it has a very powerful effect. Your minions can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, which is a very good ability, by the way. You could see a lot of like the dragon hunters right now, or even the dragon embiggen druids, very strong decks right now because of the 3/2 and the 5/4 and the 5/3 with rush and the wing guardian. Just all of these minions that have, the evasive dragon kid that have that natural can't target with spells or hero powers. Now, AoE obviously still used, but what makes the other ones a lot stronger is if you play them on a board without an actual minion that can be targeted, it's much stronger than having a minion that still can be targeted for things like Rolling Fireball, Cone of Cold, Explosive Shot. Anything like that can still attack this, I believe, because it doesn't say all. It says your minions. Well, maybe this one might protect that as well. I don't know. We'll see. Drop it on the board and see what happens. But yeah, it's a very, very powerful effect. For 3 mana 2/4, you're not using it for the stats, you're using it to protect your 1 health minion from getting pinged off, or or a 3 health minion from getting frostbolted or something like that. Frost Whisper. This is a mage shaman dual class legendary. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies, improved by spell damage. First thing is all enemies, including your own and including himself. Second of all, improved by spell damage. So most spell damage comes from your other minions, so those are probably going to get killed by dropping this guy. I'm thinking of the new mage 1 mana 1/3 spell damage +1. That alone is going to drop that to 1 health here. But pretty good AoE. I mean, on its own, it's dealing 1 damage to all minions, all enemies. Oh, I'm sorry, enemies. I read that as all minions. Okay, that changes the game. That's awesome. All enemies, including your enemy's face. Wow, I completely misread that. Let me take another sip of the happy juice, using my Dad Play Studio merchandise cup. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, I was about to say, maybe I was confused why it would be just all minions. All enemies. This is fantastic. Very, like I said, the 1 mana 1/3 is very cheap. You can turn this into deal 2, deal 3, anything like that at the end of your turns. Very good. If there's anything else that's like, like the old troll guys, the enchanters or whatever they're called, the Drakthari guys that doubled your end of turn effects, that would make this super broken. If there's anything like that in this expansion, expect to see this have play. But yeah, there's a lot of spell damage synergy, so I could 100% see this getting some play and being very effective. This is a Mage Shaman dual class, Primordial Studies. Discover a spell damage minion. Your next one costs 1 less. Okay, this is what I was mentioning earlier. Again, more spell damage, cost 1 less. I believe it's any minion costs 1 less. I don't believe it's spell damage specific, but it is a very awesome card to discover a tutored out style minion, especially one so powerful like spell damage. This will see a lot of play. Potion of Illusion. Mage Rogue, add 1/1 copies of minions to your hand. They cost 1. Very strong card. Expect this to be used on, I'm trying to think of a mana combo right now. Sorceress Apprentices. I mean, you drop 2 on the board. This now costs 2. You use it, you get 2 more. That cost 1. So at 8 mana, you could have 4 of these out on the board. And then if you use another one of these, you'll have another 4 of them in your hand that cost 1 mana each. So if you have a coin, so if you have a coin and Archmage, or if one of the 1/1s stick, you have infinite fireballs. So yeah, you'll see a lot of Yeah, there's an OTK combo using this. Expect to see it. Plagued Proto Drake. This is the dragon I was talking about earlier. Death Rattle, summon a random 7-cost minion. This is neutral. It is a dragon, so expect to see that for any Drake that wants Dragon's energies. And an 8-mana 8/8 dragon that summons a random 7-cost is just super good. You're also very happy to get this off of Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, unless you need like a specific, like, oh, you need Nazari or something like that. So yeah, this is a really strong card. 7-mana minions typically aren't anywhere near stat-wise as powerful as 8-drops, but you, for 8-mana 8/8, to get even a 4/6 off of a 7 cost or something, you're still very happy. Also, the flavor text for this one, what's in the Drake? What's in the Drake? It's very good. I believe it's a throwback to Brad Pitt in the What's in the Box. Pinflinger, a neutral, 1-mana 1/1. Battlecry, deal 1 damage. Spellburst, return this to your hand. I know somebody out there is going to do some weird, cheeky quest shaman double battle cries with the lightning bloom, try to get as many of these down and deal a ton of damage, which is going to be cool. But outside of that, it's just kind of a neat card. You can play this in arena because it's, you know, Elven Archer is not terrible even in the arena. Deal 1 damage is good from hand. And then if you can spell burst this back to you, cool. But other than that, you're probably not going to see it in a lot of decks. Ooh, Ogremancer. This one's new. This is a neutral 5-mana 3/7. Whenever your opponent casts a spell, summon a 2/2 skeleton with taunt. So this is kind of like the Trogs, where whenever your opponent casts a spell, this does something. What I like about this one is 7 health, which is nice. It's very sticky. So if they do cast a spell to destroy it, they will summon a 2/2 skeleton with taunt to even replace itself. So at least you get that on the back end. But yeah, this is definitely a powerful card, especially in an arena style game. You're just looking at really good control. You can even see this in like a control warrior, just because it does have taunt, so you can have some taunt synergies with that. So not Ogremancer, but the 2/2 skeletons that come out with the taunt. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I like it. It's a different style card, and I like where Blizzard's going with it. This is Mana Feeder Panthara. Okay. This is a beast neutral, 2-mana 2/3. Battlecry, if you've used your hero power this turn, draw a card. Nice. Just card draw. See it in anything that's, 3 mana. Use the Demon Hunter hero power. Slam this on the board. Get a card. Decent. I like it. Really strong in arena. Lore Keeper Polkelt. This is a very cool combo style card. 4 mana, 4/5, so the stats are okay. But you do it for the Battlecry. Reorder your deck from highest cost card to the lowest cost card. Prepare to see this in Warlock, Quest Warlock. You can have Mally Goes put right on the top for you. Play this, hit your hero power, your Mally 0. Next turn you draw something else. Or even if you have the scry, the orb, the sphere of sapience, you get Mally. You play this, hero power, get Mally. Next turn, it's like, here's Alexstrasza. You say, I don't want Alexstrasza. Puts it on the bottom, and then you can use your hero power to get a different card. Draw one, get a different card. By that time, your deck is pretty light. Now you know what's at the bottom of your deck. So you can kind of build around certain combos, which is pretty neat. So, yeah, see this in a combo deck. It's pretty awesome. Lake Thresher. This is a 5-mana 4/6. Cleave also damages minions next to whomever it attacks. I've seen a couple people playing this on some of the stuff I was watching. Like Ty's had this in summon minions out of your deck, druid style, and then you just cleave their board down. Very strong. 5-mana 4/6 is good, and the fact that it can cleave is really strong. Look at this in every single deck that's running any sort of control or anything with beast synergy, especially if Zoo or aggro is a very high powerful archetype. If it's the meta, this will be there to counter it, because 4 will clear a lot of aggro as well as it cleaves, so it will clear a lot of aggro. 3 minions for 5 is a really good deal. Keymaster Alabaster. This is a neutral legendary. Whenever your opponent draws a card, add a copy to your hand that costs 1. This is awesome. I love the idea of this because if you can force your opponent to draw, like what you can with the Outcast card in Demon Hunter, as well as the spell that the Hidden Corridor, draw 5 sort of thing, and your opponent can do it as well, I believe. Oh no, that's just you. I have to double check that one again. But yeah, if you can force your opponent to draw, that is a really cool effect. I really want to see that other card real fast. I thought I saw it earlier. Just because I want to know if that is one that can affect. Oh my gosh, there are so many really cool graphics. I will say this, Secret Passage. Okay, that's by yourself. Okay. I will say this, Blizzard's the artwork this time around, really, really good. So yeah, if you can force your opponent to draw, or even if you're expecting them to draw a card, a specific one. They play this guy, Lorekeeper Polkelt. That they got a high cost card. Play that guy, and then the next turn when they draw one, you get a high cost card for 1. It's pretty awesome. Jandis Barov. This is a mage rogue legendary. Summon 2 random 5-cost minions. Secretly pick one that dies when it takes damage. That's a really cool effect. You can really play some mind games. But even 5 mana 2/1's not great. Definitely going to hate yourself if you get this off of an evolve. But pick 2 5s, summon them, and then whichever one gets hit will die immediately. So that's any sort of damage, whether it's traded, whether it's it gets an arcane missile or a ping. But you can play mind games. Do you want to put it on the death rattle to get the death rattle ability, or do you want to put it on the big taunt, expecting them not to attack the big taunt or something? Who knows? Let's see it. We'll probably see this in action on both. Probably mage more than rogue. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool card. I like to see it in action. Intrepid Initiate. Spell burst, gain +2 attack. Play it on 1, do a spell on 2. Now all of a sudden you got a 3/2. Pretty good card. You're going to see it in zoos. Fishy Flyer. Neutral Murloc, 4 mana, 4/3. Rush, Death Rattle, add a 4/3 ghost with Rush to your hand. Same style. 4/3 Murloc with Rush. So decent cost. 4 mana, 4 attack, Rush. Pretty good. That's decently statted. And then you get another one. Pretty good for control, anything, or not so much control, mid-range, if you're looking to kind of control the board. Push damage. Yeah, this card can do it. Murloc synergies as well. Pretty cool. I like it. Enchanted Cauldron. This is a card that I am super excited about. This is my resident sleeper. 3 mana, 1/6, so it's Magic Carpet. But Spell Burst, cast a random spell of the same cost, I think is really strong. You're going to be able to see people combo this with something really strong. I mean, even 7 mana, you drop this and you Flame Strike. The higher mana you go, the less amount of spells there are to miss if you're looking for something specific. So even at 10 mana, if this stays on the board and you cast that, the new Druid spell that gives all your minions that huge buff, you cast the Grand Slam by accident. I mean, you play this and then you cast that, and you all of a sudden now you got a Grand Slam to go over the top. Super strong. Get ready to see this. I'm excited to use this card in any sort of spell burst style deck. I'm also looking to use this in even a Res Pre style. You play this, you cast Mass Resurrection, and then you pray you don't hit Plague of Death. But you might be able to hit something really cool with it. So I'm excited to finally sit down and look at all the cards, look at the cost, sort it out, and build a deck around this. What do I want this Enchanted Cauldron to hit with some of the spells I use? Educated Elec. This one's kind of cool. Whenever a spell is played, this minion remembers it. So it's any spell, not just when your opponent does. It's any spell. Death Rattle, shuffle the spells into your deck. So it's got that Elec shuffle feature that we've known and loved. But it's a 3 mana, 3/4, great stats, and it's a beast, and it's a neutral. And you can play this in any deck. Does not matter. You can play it in an aggro deck, you can play it in a control deck, you can play it in a mid-range deck, a combo deck. This thing is awesome. It helps fight fatigue, and it helps give you value. I mean, granted they don't go straight to your hand, but you can put them in your deck. That's pretty awesome. It'd be nice to be able to be like a mage and you get a Farsight off of this guy, right? And then all of a sudden you Farsight into Antonidas or Puzzle Box or Calicos or something like that. Super cool. I'm excited. Dr. Krastenov. Rush. Whenever this attacks, give your weapon +1/+1, which is a pretty cool dual class rogue warrior legendary. 5 mana 4/4. Not the greatest stats, but I compare this to a better Captain Greenskin. Captain Greenskin's Battle Cry, give your weapon +1/+1. It's a 5/4 body and it sits there. This guy, Rush, whenever this attacks, give your weapon +1/+1, so you can attack immediately if obviously there's something on the board to attack against, but turn 5, yes, there is, generally speaking. So you get the Greenskin effect, and you can also clear a minion out of your way as well. Pretty awesome. And if it lives for some ungodly known reason, this thing actually lives through one turn, attack again and your weapon gets +1/+1. So it's really strong effect. I really like it. I think you're going to see a lot of play in anything that's even mid-range to late game ones. That's a really cool effect. I also like it with the new self-sharpening sword, which we're going to cover here in a little bit, which I believe is a rogue weapon, but every time you attack, your weapon gains +1 damage. So this basically gives you an extra durability plus an extra 2 damage because you're attacking twice. Or you're attacking and then the +1. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Divine Rager. 4 mana, 5/1. So the Ragers are getting more love. 5/1 is a pretty decent stat line for a Rager. Not for anybody else, but it is elemental, so you do get some synergies there. And Divine Shield makes that 1 health stickier than people would like to admit. I still think Faceless Rager is a much better Rager if you're going to go Ragers. Copy and Health is much stronger, and it costs 1 less. But yeah, 4 mana, 5/1, Divine Shield. You can throw this in Arena. You're not going to see it any real constructed, but you can see this in Arena. Devolving Missiles we've talked about. Ooh, Desk Imp. 0 mana, 1/1. So you're looking at the Wisp or the little Murloc. But it's a demon, so there's a lot of demon synergies out there. So see this in a zoo, possibly. Maybe cheeky, super early. I mean, it's a neutral, but I've seen the gibberish combo that happened to Dog, where somebody was just like spell bursting and buffing their board. You can sneak one of these in. Absolutely, turn 1. Cutting Class. This is Rogue Warrior, dual class, common. Draw 2 cards, cost 1 less per attack of your weapon. I mean, draw 2. The general value of draw 2 is Arcane Intellect, which is just a flat 3 mana draw 2. If there's ways that you can work it around, where you can get draw 2 for less, or draw more than 2 for more cost. Like if you can do like draw 3 for 3 is a good deal as well. Yeah, draw 2 cards, cost 1 less per attack of your weapon. It's very slow if you do not have an attack. On your weapon, if you're a rogue and you have just the standard 1 attack dagger, this costs 4. 4 mana draw 2 is not good. Warrior, there's a lot of early weapons you can pick up, even a fiery war axe. On if you play the dormant minion, that gives you that weapon on turn 3. That's a 3 damage or 3 attack weapon. This now costs 2. Pretty decent. You might see this more in Warrior than you will Rogue, but if you're really hurting for card draw, I still think Battle Rage is a better option, and there's some spell burst stuff out there for it. But yeah, I mean, if you're really hurting for card draw, you can toss that in and make it work. Crimson Hothead, spell burst, gain +1 attack and taunt. So 4 mana 3/6 is a normal stat line. We've seen that quite a bit. Dragon synergies, which is nice, but spell burst, gain +1 attack and taunt, so it goes to a 4/6 with taunt. Pretty good. You can see this in when I see these cards, I'm thinking, yeah, you could put that in Control Priest and buff it and give it taunt and blah blah blah. Yeah, if you need dragons, this is a pretty good control one. Anything to get the board back is always solid. Coerce. This is a rogue warrior. Destroy a damaged minion combo. Destroy any minion. So obviously I had that conversation about assassinate cost 5. Execute costs 2. So this is a 3 mana execute. Unless you combo it, then you can just turn it into a 3 mana assassinate. So I think the 1 mana penalty on execute is worth is less of a penalty than the 3 mana buff to assassinate. So I think it's a good card. Any control style deck gonna run that. Brain Freeze. This is a mage rogue card. So it's a dual class, 1 mana, freeze a minion. If it's a combo, you also deal 3 damage to it. So there's a lot of combo cards that mage now has to play with, and they're pretty inexpensive. So this is just 1 mana. I mean, this is just better than Ray of Frost if you're trying to kill like a single target with it. Pretty good card. Expect to see it. Animated Broomstick. Battlecry. Give your other minions rush, which is cool, so it's a neutral. 1/1, so it's just 1 mana, give your other minions rush, and this has rush as well. And I mean, if the meta gets very aggro, you'll see this card to help contest early boards. You'll probably see this card comboed with Kreen to really help contest early boards and just give Demon Hunter the win, or even Hunter the win on aggro battles. So Reaper's Scythe. This is a rare warrior weapon. 4 mana, 4/2. Also damages. Oh yeah, we talked about this one. I love it. I love the cleave. Very strong weapon. Very strong weapon. Information, add 2 random taunt minions to your hand. So Dragon's Roar was 2 dragons to your hand. That really didn't see play, but this might, purely because warriors always had more taunt synergy than they've had dragon synergy. So good value, especially if you have Armageddillo, if you have the bolster, whatever it's not bolster. Bolster's like an older card, but whatever Into the Fray. There it is. Stuff like that. Look for Taunt Warrior to be a thing again, which I'm excited for because I like mindless decks that I can play while I'm doing like dishes and stuff. Athletic Studies. Discover a rush minion. Your next one costs less. This makes me think that the Discover spell damage minion, the next one costs less, actually only applies to spell damage, because Athletic Studies, I believe it only applies to the rush. Yeah, I mean, just 1 mana, give you a rush minion, and it's just like you never cast a spell at all, which is kind of cool. But it does say your next one, in general, costs 1 less. It doesn't have to be on the same turn, which is pretty cool. Expect to see it, definitely. It's good value. Void Drinker. This one's awesome. It is a 5 mana, 4/5 demon warlock card. Battlecry. Destroy a soul fragment in your deck and turn into the stone golem guy. Why can't I think of his name? The 7/8 for shaman. The 5 mana 7/8 that overloads you. That turns into that without the overload. Insanely powerful. This gets played on 5, you're sad. If you don't have removal, you pay the price. It will be seen in a lot of decks. Any deck that's running soul fragments, you're playing this. Spirit Jailer. This is a dual class. Shuffle 2 soul fragments in your deck. 1 mana, 1/3. Super high value. This is going to be played in every single soul fragment deck, no matter what. If you're playing it, if you're doing soul fragments and you're not playing this, you're doing something wrong. Ooh, Discover a Demon. Your next one costs 1 less. Studies. That's their studies. Very good. You'll see that a lot because it's tutored to demons, and there's some pretty cool demons this time around. Ooh, okay. I've seen a lot of yeses and nos on this card. Tidal Wave, Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to all minions. We know how powerful Spirit Lash was for Priest. We absolutely do. The meta was fast, and Spirit Lash was really strong. But that one was 2 mana, not 8. So this is much slower. But if you can get this out earlier, or if you really need the life, this card will definitely do it for you. I mean, deal 3 damage to all minions is already awesome. So you're taking Flame Strike, upping the cost 1, dropping the damage 1, but it has lifesteal. I personally think in a control style deck, this thing is super strong. You're going to see it played, and you're going to be, heals against the wall or back against the wall, digging in your heals, and Demon Hunter's got you dead to rights, and he's got 6 minions on the board, and you play this and heal for 18, and then you just laugh at him because he's all out of gas. I like it. I think it's a good spell. I think it's slow, but I think there's other tools that Shaman can use to keep you alive until you get there. Like Witch's Brew. Rune Dagger. This is a Shaman Shaman common weapon. After hero attacks, gain spell damage +1 this turn. Awesome. Super cool spell damage synergies. I like the legendary, the mage Shaman legendary, that at the end of your turn deal 1 damage to all enemies plus spell damage. This is a great way to combo with that and turn it into 2 damage. Yeah, cheap, easy. Any deck that's running a lot of spells or removal, this is going to be played 100%. Molten Blast. Here's some more. Deal 2 damage, summon that many elementals. Yeah, so you're looking at A, this can go face. B, with just this card alone, you're looking at 2 damage plus summoning 2 1/1, so that's 4, technically. 4 damage for 3 mana, which is already good value. No overload, which is really cool. But yeah, even if it's deal 3 damage, now all of a sudden you got 3 1/1s. You can definitely fill a board with this really fast, especially comboing it with Rune Dagger. This will see play. If Rune Dagger sees play and this doesn't, I will be severely surprised. Volpera Toxin Blade. Just while this is on the board, your weapon has +2 attack for Rogue. So this is a great way to combo with the draw card. So this is a 3 mana, 3/3, which is pretty good stats as is. Your weapon has +2 attack. So now all of a sudden your normal dagger has 3 attack. And then that 5 cost spell is now 2 costs. So draw 2 for 2, which is a positive, good value. This will see play. Shifty Sophomore, another rogue card. Stealth, Spellbird, add a combo card to your hand. I like it because it has stealth, so you can drop this on 4 and be okay. You don't have to worry about it getting obliterated as easily. But yeah, this is just a strong card. Add some value, and if you have anything that's stealth synergy, this is good. This card is also super strong in Arena. 4 mana, 4/4 in Arena is okay, but the fact that it has stealth is really nice because you can control the board a lot easier. Plus, you can spell burst and get just more value. Self-sharpening sword. This is what I liked with the rush guy, the druid. Wow, the rogue warrior legendary 4/4 rush that gives your weapon +1/+1. After hero attacks, gain +1 attack. So this is a very strong weapon. 3 mana, 1/4 weapons have been kind of, I don't want to say normal, but 1/4 weapons are kind of normal. But you're looking at gaining attack as you go. So eventually this becomes a 4/1. But if you can buff or change it, this becomes much more powerful very quickly. So see this weapon to be played. Plagiarize at the end of your opponent's turn. So this is a new secret for Rogue. At the end of your opponent's turn, add copies of the cards they played to your hand. So this is kind of cheeky. Right now, I can tell when people, if I'm playing Priest, I can tell when people are playing around Murazond, right? They know that it's getting close to 8 mana, or they think you have it, or they just know you have it, and they're trying to play less every turn because they don't want to give you that huge value spike. This secret plays well because, A, the other secrets right now, Ambush, Dirty Tricks, are so good that this just seems like you want to just add it into the Rogue deck because it gives you even more to play around, right? So they could play a minion and see it doesn't proc. Okay. So now they're going to play a spell, and then all of a sudden you don't have Dirty Tricks. And they're like, crap, it's plagiarized, and I've already given them 2 cards, a minion and a spell, at the end of this turn, and that could stop them dead in their tracks because they don't want to give you any more value. Or they just play a bunch of minions and hope that it's Dirty Tricks, and then all of a sudden you have four minions in your hand, and that's your gas, that's your reload. Really strong. I really like this card. It's even if you get 2 mana for 1 card, not the greatest, but it's still decent, trading cards. Pretty cool. I like it. And it plays games with people. Raise Dead. This is really strong Warlock and Priest card. Dual class, Raise Dead, 0 mana, deal 3 damage to your hero, return 2 friendly minions that died this game to your hand. It's important that it's to your hand, so you still have to play them. But if you got Battle Cries, whatever, pretty good value. You can also get back a super broken card like a legendary that you know that, okay, he's the only one that's died this game, or she's the only one that has died this game. Boom, I want it back. Dealing 3 damage to your hero, not anything new, but yeah, very, very strong. Also, Zoo Warlock, very strong card. Getting 0 mana draw 2 for Zoo is so good, and you don't care about your life total in Zoo. You just don't. You just tap every turn you can, you fill your hand, and just play stuff. So very strong card. Power Word Feast. Give a minion +2/+2. Restore it to full health at the end of this turn. I love that it's restore at the end of this turn because you can give a minion +2/+2, make a very good trade for yourself, and then ta-da, it's back to full health. I picture this with the minion in there, the 1 mana 1/4 Frazzled Freshman. Now all of a sudden it's 3/6 at full health on your opponent's turn. Very good card. If aggro is super hyper, you're looking at this card being a really good answer to that, or just it's a solid card. 2 mana +2/+2 is very good. Plus it's a full heal at the end of the turn. You can play this on any card and just be happy that if you can trade up or if you can trade and survive, it's a very good card. Mind Reader Elusia. 2 mana 1/3. Swap hands and decks with your opponent until next turn. So it's important because they're going to draw. So at first glance, this card was like, oh yeah, that's kind of neat. You can see what's in your opponent's hand. Maybe play some cards from their hand. Break up combos and stuff, and then when it becomes your turn again, you give it back to them. Yeah, that can happen. You can also have cards that just aren't the greatest for them to play, but they also draw you a card. Technically, on their turn, it's your hand. They draw a card from your deck into their hand, and then when it becomes your turn, you get it back, and then you draw your own card, which is pretty cool. So technically you're skipping cards coming from their deck and you're just increasing your own value and tempo. So I think this is pretty neat. I like it. If you can combo it with something that's like, you know, their hand is super full and you just want to draw cards and you get a mage and you play Reno or something, you know, get rid of powerful removal or get rid of a combo piece or just start burning cards. You know, you swap hands and then you just start playing stuff that's going to burn cards. It's pretty neat. I'm going to be excited seeing the mind games off of this card. It's pretty cool. This is a pre-spell initiation. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If that kills it, summon a new copy. So this is like Holy Water, which was 5 mana, but that added it to your hand. This is deal 4. If it kills it, summon a new copy. You can use this on your own minions. You can use it on your opponent's minions. 6 mana deal 4 is not great, but 6 mana summon a minion is pretty good, especially if you could pick which one, right? So in a controlled deck, this definitely is going to see play. Draconic Studies. So Priest gets the studies, that is Discover a Dragon. Your next one costs 1 less. Easy. Absolutely 100% put that in your decks. I love this card. Paladin Priest, set the attack of all enemy minions to 1 until your next turn. So this is a great 1 mana spell, especially because even though it's not permanent, there's a lot of things that you can do to minions that have only 1 attack. You can bring a minion into Shadow Word Pain. You can Spell Burst, steal a minion. The 1 card that has the Spell Burst, steal a minion with 2 or less attack. Yeah, this card's going to see play in a control style deck. Really strong. Shield of Honor. This is Paladin Warrior. Give a damaged minion +3 attack and Divine Shield. Yeah, this is so good. Rampage is a phenomenal card, and that's 2 mana +3/+3. This is 1 mana +3 plus Divine Shield. A lot of times that +3/+3, sometimes that +3 on the health just gets traded away anyway because you wanted to use this to trade up. Now you have this to trade into a minion and this stays. Really strong, especially for 1 mana. See this in a lot of tempo, aggro, mid-range style warrior decks, and even for Paladin. You can definitely see this in some decks. This is a really cool card. I am a big fan of it. Lord Barav. This is a Paladin Warrior Legendary Battlecry set. Health of all other minions to 1. Death Rattle. Deal 1 damage to all minions. So this is kind of your board control. You can combo this with the 2/1 Battlecry. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it Rush. So you can use this plus him, plus that Rush one to set the health to 1, and clear the board, which is really cool. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I like it. It's a pretty strong card, great for controlling anything that's on the board. This one was cool. They did a really cool video reveal on this one, the High Abbess Allura. This one is a Paladin Priest legendary spellburst. Cast a spell from your deck, targets this if possible. So if it's a buff, it's automatically going to target this, which is really cool. So you know that it's not random. It's sad if you get something bad, like an AoE or removal. Unless it's like a specific, like if you get Holy Nova off of this, you're fine. You're like, okay, cool, I did 2 damage to all enemy minions, and I healed mine for 2, and blah, blah, blah. But you're looking for all your buffs. Really good stuff. So that's pretty cool. I like this card. Definitely a good statted 4 mana, 3/6, good statted legendary. It'll see play in both Paladin and Priest. Gift of Luminous. This is a pretty cool card that combos with the other one, Paladin and Priest. 3 mana. Give Divine Shield, and then summon a 1/1 copy of it. Pretty cool. So that 1/1 copy does get Divine Shield as well, because it says give a minion Divine Shield, then summon a 1/1 copy. It's strong, especially if you put this on like a Death Rattle or something like that. Very, very cool. Commencement. This is 7 mana, Warrior Paladin spell. Summon a minion from your deck, give it Taunt and Divine Shield. So this is Recruit, only it doesn't just recruit it, it also gives it Taunt and Divine Shield, which could be very good for you. If you are, your back's against the wall and you need a taunt, might as well give that Taunt Divine Shield. This could be good on any minion, but obviously you want it on a more powerful minion. And then Taunt and Divine Shield is just extra value on top of it. It is a little slow, so I don't know how much play it's going to see. There's better ways to control the board than a 7 mana spell for both classes. But I think it's a neat idea. It's pretty cool. This card is nutty. Give a minion +8/+8, so 5 mana +8/+8 for Paladin. It can't attack heroes this turn, and who cares? Because you just made this thing so beefy, and if they don't have a silence or if they don't have removal, that card next turn is just going to take over the game. 5 mana, 8/8. Blizzard, what are you doing? That thing is so strong. This is the Argent Braggart. This is a Paladin, gain attack and health to match the highest in the battlefield. So, 7 mana, you just added 8/8 to a minion. You might as well add it to this minion as well. Combos very well with that last spell. Yeah, this is a good card. It just matches whatever the strongest minion is. But it also, it's separate. So you can have an 8/10 and a 6/12. And this guy would be an 8. Well, he would be a 9/13, something like that. So it gains the attack, and then it gains the health. It doesn't specifically choose only one minion to gain it from. Get out of here. Gosh, Lightning Bloom. By the way, I think when I originally reviewed this, I said it was Shaman only. It's not. It is Druid and Shaman, and it is so good. I said in the beginning, this card is super nutty. You're going to see it all over the place in a lot of the review videos. Yeah, you are, because it's so strong. Professor Slate. This is a Hunter card. Your spells are poisonous. First of all, 3 mana, 3/4 is just already a good stat line. So you could run this in a deck, even if you don't get the spells are poisonous part, you're happy with 3 mana, 3/4. But your spells are poisonous, you now just turned any damaging spell into high priority removal, right? So good for anybody who's running any sort of damage, or if this is on the board and somebody attacks your face and you have Explosive Trap up, it's just a board clear, right? Super strong. Anytime you can change damage to infinite, you always need to take a closer look at it. Your arcane shots are just 2 damage, destroy a minion, basically. So, very, very, or 1 mana, destroy a minion. Very strong. Very, very strong. Spellburst, refresh your mana crystals. So here's a Druid legendary Forest Warden Omu. Refresh your mana crystals. It doesn't say set it to 10, it just says refresh your mana crystals. So this is 6 mana. If you play it on 6 and you use a coin or you use something, this just, boom, spellburst, you now have 6 mana again, which is strong, don't get me wrong. Very cool effect. Look for this to work with some combos. This card, Survival of the Fittest. Give +4/+4 to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. This thing is so good, especially because it's in Druid, first of all. If this was in any other class, just throw it in the garbage. Druid has a way to get to that 10 mana so quickly, especially with that new Lightning Bloom. You could be on 6 mana, pop 2 of those. Now all of a sudden you're playing a 10 mana spell on turn 6. That's if you didn't Breath of Dreams or even Overgrow, right? Or Overgrowth. So there are so many ways to cheat this out, and now all of your stuff is just massive. You thought Embiggen was disgusting? This is absolutely dirty. I love it. Ancient Voidhound. This is just a good card. Let's just talk real fast. 9 mana, 10/10, good stats. At the end of your turn, steal 1 attack and health from all enemy minions. I mean, I would play a card that just deals 1 damage to all enemy minions at the end of my turn. Oh wait, I have. It was the Dreadlord. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that granted was much less expensive, but 9 mana, steal 1 attack and 1 health from all enemy minions. This thing gets really big pretty quickly, and if your opponent doesn't have an answer for it, you're just killing stuff. And this leans more towards that control style Demon Hunter deck that they've been showing a lot of the cards for. So I'm really interested to see this one in action. I'm kind of excited. Guardian Animals, 7 mana, summon 2 beasts that cost 5 or less from your deck. Give them Rush. This is a Druid and Hunter card. Yeah, I could see this in Druid more because you can build, especially using the 10 mana spell to give him +4/+4. But yeah, I think Tice built a deck, and he was using this comboed with that spell and with the Hydra that cleaves and the other one, which I think we're going to run into very, very quickly. The other one that when it attacks, it draws you 2 cards, which is so good. But this is important that it says give them Rush. If this was just 7 mana, draw 2 beasts that cost 5 or less, garbage. You want that Rush effect, because 7 mana, just summon 2, is not good enough because of the cost. It's just 7 mana is too slow for that, but giving them Rush, very strong. True Aim Crescent. This is a Demon Hunter and Hunter weapon. After your hero attacks a minion, your minions attack it too, which is pretty cool. Use this with Kreen, and everything attacks, and nobody takes damage. Pretty cool. I like this weapon. 1 mana, 1/4 is already just good, right? Even if you go face with this, you're not upset because you spent 1 mana on it. Why would you be upset? But the ability to clear off stuff, especially because like you can attack with a minion, and then you can attack a minion with your hero, and that same minion will still attack it. It's pretty cool. Prioritize removal. Wormweaver. Spellburst. Summon 2 1/3 mana worms. It's a mage card. 5 mana, 3/6. Stats are kind of weak. Summon 2 1/3 mana worms, so you're looking at taking up 3 spots on your board. I mean, it's not the worst. In Arena, this is just super strong. But in Constructed, it's just a lot of low attack minions. And on turn 5, your opponent's just going to have answers at that point. They probably already have a board, or even turn 6 or 7 when you can actually proc the Spellburst. So I don't think this one's going to see a lot of play. Pretty neat idea though. Firebrand. This is awesome. 3 mana, 3/4, so you're already excited about the stats. Spellburst. Deal 4 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. This is just great. Play this on the board, and it forces your opponent to play around it because it will split around enemy minions only. So you don't have to worry about, or you don't have to try to play it and get lucky that it hits face instead. Like, it's just a good card. It's just a very solid card. Look for this as any sort of premium style removal. It's very good. Demon Companions. This is Animal Companion, but Demon instead. It's 1 mana, so it's a 2/1 with charge. Rifa. Shima, which is a 2/2 with taunt. So 1 mana, 2/2, already strong with taunt, even better. Or Kolek, 1 mana, 1/2. This is like Leok. Your other minions have +1 attack. Super strong. So this card is just absolutely nutty. For 1 mana, you are not mad with any of them you have. So this is Huffer backwards. This is Misha with an anagram, and same thing with Kolek is Leok anagram. So yeah, it's pretty neat. It's strong. You're running it. You'll see this everywhere. Fell Guardian. Summon 3 1/2 demons with taunt. Costs 1 less whenever a friendly minion dies. Now it says costs 1 less whenever a friendly minion dies. It doesn't say, well, this is in your hand, so it leads me to believe that as friendly minions are dying throughout the game, this costs 1 less. Once this gets down to like 3 or 4, it's valuable. 1/2 demons, so you get 3 of them, so it's 3/6 stats. So 4 mana, 3/6, pretty good. but each one has taunt. So this is that control Demon Hunter that I was talking about. This is the card that you would run in that. Cram Session. Draw 1 card, improve by spell damage. There you go. So 2 mana, draw 1, not the greatest. 2 mana, draw 2, super good. Or even 3 mana, draw 2, and I say that because the Lab Assistant, the 1/3 that is spell damage +1, that's 1 mana. Add this to it, that's 2 mana. That's 3 mana total for draw 2. You're basically a build your own Arcane Intellect. And there's a lot of times that I wish I had a minion on 1, than this on 2, because Arcane Intellect on 3, I'm trying to do some other things. So this definitely can fit a much better curve, and I like it. You're going to see the 1 mana 1/3 spell damage plus this together all the time. Double Jump. This one is super strong, and it's not a 1-drop. You don't play this on 1. You play this later in the game when you know that you have a specific Outcast card in your deck, or you know that you've built your deck around cheaper Outcasts so that when you play this card, you're getting the draw 2 card for 2. You're getting Outcast. You're getting the Outcast Skull. You're getting something specific that you know you can play that same exact turn. That's when you would play this card, which is very strong, because when you draw it, ta-da, it's in the Outcast slot. If you can't play that same turn, now you have to wait for it to go all the way to the end of your deck or your hand in order to play it again. So it's a great card. Blood Herald. Demon Hunter. Whenever friendly minion dies in your hand, gain +1/+1. It's just slow, right? You can put this in a zoo aggro style deck for Demon Hunter or Hunter, because you'll get a lot of minions that are going to die, or even that Gibberish deck. If you have this in your hand and you have a Gibberish and you start spell bursting off of it, sure, but it's 5 mana. This would have to get to 5/5 in order to be good. So you need 4 minions to die while this is in your hand, which can do, 4 turns. You can absolutely do that, but it might just be too slow. Vile Fiend Trainer, Demon Hunter. This is an Outcast summon 2 1/1 demons. Pretty cool card. It's 4 mana 5/4, so the stats are already pretty strong. But if you have an Outcast, getting 1/1 demons, pretty good. This now turns into a 4 mana 7/6, which you're not going to be upset about because it's pretty strong. And these are the Vile Fiends, by the way. They're just 1/1 demons, so nothing special on them. No lifesteal, no nothing else. Bloated Python. 3 mana Hunter. This is a 1/2 beast, so it does have beast synergies. It's good because it just summons a 4/4, but it's a 3 mana 1/2, just a little slow. You don't really get any tempo out of it until it dies, and if it gets silenced, or even if it gets Shadow, whatever the 3 mana control thing from the Pre-Star, I can't think right now what it's called. Shadow Madness, thank you. If this gets Shadow Madness, you're just sad, right? So I don't think this one's going to see a lot of play. There's a lot better 3-cost beasts out there. Very good in Arena, though. Teacher's Pet, 5 mana 4/5, Druid Hunter, legend or rare. So it's Druid Hunter dual class. Taunt, Death Rattle, summon a random 3-cost beast. 5 mana 4/5 is already good because it has Taunt. You see a lot of 4 mana 5 4/5s, like the Scrap Golem with Taunt and Warrior that gains armor equal to its stats. There's a lot of things that are very similar to this, but summon a random 3-cost beast. We know how good Mount Seller is because of the high rolling that you can do in the 3 mana beast slot, right? I mean, if this gives you a Mukla, congrats, you just won the lottery. You can even get Zixor off of this. You can get so many good things off of this. You can also get bad. You can get the 1/1 Desert Hares, but overall, this is a net positive gain stats for money as long as it doesn't get silenced. Plain and simple. Krolosk Bark Stripper. Spellburst, destroy a random enemy minion, just like the Priest has with that one. This is good. 4 mana 3/5. The problem is it's in Hunter. You're not really going to proc Spellburst on them very often, but if you can get this and it sticks, it's just something that your opponent has to play around. This is going to be, it's better that your opponent has to play around this more than the effect itself, if that makes sense. Your opponent's going to kill this before you have a chance to Spellburst, which gives you tempo. Overwhelm. This is just a good card, right? Hunter, 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. Already pretty good. Deal 1 more damage for each beast you control. Who cares? 1 mana deal 2 is good. Combo this with the 3 mana legendary that turns into poisonous. Congrats. Deal infinite damage and just kill a minion. It's a strong card. Carrion Studies. This is a hunter. Discover a death rattle minion. Your next one costs 1 less. So this is their studies. Pretty cool card. I wanted to see them do something beast related. I mean, I feel like this doesn't fit out of all of the studies. Hunter hasn't really gotten a lot of death rattle love out of this expansion. So it'd be cool to see them get Discover a Beast instead of Discover a Death Rattle. You know, priests can always use dragons, right? They have a lot of dragon synergies or some really good new dragons, but it's like Discover a Death Rattle. So now you're digging into the neutral pool, which traditionally class cards are stronger than neutral cards. But, I mean, you can use it. Just know that it's not as strong as some of the other cards that some of the other studies. Wolpertinger. This is a cool card. Battlecry. Summon a copy of this. So 1 mana, 1/1. Summons a 1/1. You buff this at all. 1 mana, 3/3. Summons another 3/3. It's just strong, right? I mean, even natural 1 mana, 1/1. Or sorry, 1 mana, 2/2 is good. But this splits it into 2 1/1s. Yeah, this is strong. You're going to see play. If you can buff this in hand and then slam it down, just extra value. This is the Druid card I was telling you about. 5 mana, 5/4, when stealth, which is good. Whenever this attacks, draw 2 cards. This is very much like a Mana Saber. Only it's a different style of beast. It's pretty cool though. But yeah, draw 2, so good. Especially because you probably use a lot of your stuff early to get your minions big, and now you're running low on cards, and you can absolutely play this and just draw 2. The draw is very, very powerful. Gibberling. This is the thing that a lot of people were like, oh yeah, GG, turn 1, I have, 12/12 worth of stats on the board on turn 1. It's like, what do? You don't do anything. You summon a Gibberling and you hit the concede button. It's Druid only, but man, it's so strong. I love the Gibber from the previous expansions that came out. The Gibber that just, whenever you attacked face, you got 1 back in your hand. It was just a neat card, and they were funny. But this is really strong, and it's important to note why it's so strong. When this summons a new one, that one has Spell Burst waiting to be activated. So then you play another spell, and then you get a 3rd one. And then you play another spell, and you get a 4th one and a 5th one. And you start out with this, and then you innervate, and then you get 1, and then you lightning bloom or lightning blossom or whatever that one is. And then now you have like 3 mana, you get another one, and then you moonfire your opponent's face, and then you play something else, and then you power of the wild or the 2 mana, choose 1, and now all of them have +1/+1. So they're all 2/2s. And it's just really strong on turn 1. Your opponent can't do anything because there's really not a lot of 2 damage AoEs that early in the game, right? So it's a great way to kind of nut draw into an instant W. And the very last card. Whew! We got there, boys. It took a long time. I might split this into 2 videos because of that. Partner Assignment. Add a random 2-cost and 3-cost beast to your hand. This is just great for curve. This is a Druid class card. 1 mana. Play it. Turn 2, you now have a 2-cost beast, and then turn 3, you have a 3-cost beast. And again, we've talked about how good the 3-cost beasts are. There's some new 2-cost beasts that are very powerful that you could definitely see get played, and you're still happy if you get them off of this, which is cool. And it's any class, so you can get any class, 2-cost and 3-cost beast. Super awesome. So that's it for the cards. I don't know about you guys, but I am like super excited about this. I thought some of the early cards they released, like Rattlegore and this awesome Ceremonial Maul, and just some of the really good cards out the gate, and you're just like, cool, they just kind of hit the ground running, and it's all downhill from here, blah, blah, blah. And then, they showed Kel'Thuzad's card, and you're like, that's really cool. But then they just kept showing more. And the more they showed, the more I'm like, I love the style of this expansion versus like the last one was, here's Demon Hunter and some more cards. And you're like, okay, I understand you're releasing a whole new class. So some more attention to that. And of course, the most nerfs and adjustments we've seen in a single expansion came with the last one because you're adding a whole new class. So there's a lot more to balance and whatnot. But it's just, I'm really excited. I'm glad to see Demon Hunters getting more control feel. I'm glad to see that Priest has some early game stuff. I'm really excited to see the addition to some more combo-y style cards into Mage with actual dual class that say combo. So it's pretty cool. And spell damage. Let's talk about that for a second. Holy cow. There's so many spell damage synergies this time. It's not just, well, it'd be nice to have for a fireball. Like, there's a lot of things you can do for spell damage. I'm excited. There's so many cool cards. I don't know where to begin. I think personally I'm going to try to do day one. I want to do, and don't judge me, Control Priest and a Control Warrior style deck because I like decks that I can play while doing something else. For instance, I am a father of two. I am married. I am in the middle of moving. Potentially, I mean, we're still selling the house and we're looking still, but I'm busy. I can't just devote 8 hours in a day, but I can play a Control Warrior deck while doing dishes. Dish, put it in the dishwasher. Oh, cool. I can, do one move real fast and then go back to dishes. Stuff like that. So I'm excited for this expansion because I think there's some really cool tools. And then I want to try to get into a rogue deck. I think that new secret is so powerful, and you're going to be able to get some really powerful cards that you wouldn't have access to because, you're not a druid, you're not a warrior. So it's pretty neat. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are excited for it too. And I'm going to try to do my best. Obviously, being as busy as I am going to try to do my best into getting some of the newer content videos out there for you guys. So let me know what you think. It's probably two videos because I think we're running super long on this one. So I'll probably cut this into 2 videos and get them up there. But comment on both. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've seen any cool combos on some of these that I haven't seen yet because I haven't had the chance to really dive into them and look at all the new videos. But I'm so excited for this expansion. I hope you guys are too. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. And then again, I hope to see you guys out there in the tavern, and I hope we get to play a game together because I'm excited to show off some of these decks.